Right now, in this very moment, your person is experiencing something extraordinary. They are undergoing a transformation so profound, so deeply rooted in spiritual awakening, that it's reshaping the entire landscape of their soul. This isn't just a simple change of heart or a fleeting moment of clarity. No, this is something far more significant. They have finally begun to recognize, with painful precision, the toxic patterns that have held them captive for far too long. They're seeing clearly now the karmic relationships that have kept them trapped in cycles of stagnation, confusion, and emotional imprisonment. These connections they're releasing aren't superficial acquaintances or casual friendships. These are ties that once held immense emotional influence over their life, over their choices, over their very sense of self. For years, perhaps even longer, these individuals have been woven into the fabric of their daily existence. But now, through the lens of awakening, your person sees these relationships for what they truly are. They recognize how certain people, including those who called themselves friends, have systematically manipulated their decisions and emotions. And most significantly, they see how these individuals work tirelessly to interfere with their connection to you. Think about the magnitude of this realization. These manipulators created confusion where there should have been clarity. They planted seeds of doubt in fertile soil where love should have grown freely. They actively, deliberately worked to block the natural flow of energy between your person and you. They whispered in ears, they created scenarios, they manufactured drama and complications, all designed to keep your person away from the one connection that could truly bring them peace. But something fundamental has shifted within them now. A light has been turned on in a room that was dark for far too long. They are no longer willing to live under the crushing weight of other people's expectations, judgments, or interference. The awakening your person is experiencing has given them something precious that was missing before, the courage to take action. They are actively, intentionally, and with great determination cutting ties with these karmic connections. Make no mistake, this is not an easy process. It requires immense strength to walk away from relationships that have been part of your life for so long, even when you know they're toxic. It means facing the discomfort of disappointing people, of standing alone, of choosing your own truth over the comfort of familiar dysfunction. But your person has reached a point where they understand that this process, however painful, is absolutely necessary for their growth and freedom. As they release these toxic bonds, they are simultaneously reclaiming something that was stolen from them piece by piece over the years, their personal power. With each tie they cut, with each boundary they set, with each manipulative voice they silence, they are stepping more fully into their authentic self. And in doing so, they are creating space. Beautiful, sacred, healing space. Space for something real to finally take root and flourish. Space for the kind of love that only you have ever offered them, the kind that doesn't come with strings attached or hidden agendas. While your person may have seemed distant in the past, while there may have been periods when they appeared disconnected or emotionally unavailable, the truth that's emerging now is quite different from what it appeared to be on the surface. The reality is that they have been silently, sometimes even unconsciously, longing for you all along. Even in their moments of greatest confusion, even when they were surrounded by others or caught up in those toxic dynamics, there was a part of their soul that remained anchored to you. The pull they feel toward you isn't merely emotional attraction or physical chemistry, though those elements certainly exist. This goes so much deeper than that. What they feel is spiritual in nature. It's a soul recognition that transcends logic and defies the limitations of ordinary understanding. You bring them something they've searched for their entire life without even knowing they were searching. You bring them a sense of peace that settles into their bones and quiets the constant noise in their mind. You bring them fulfillment that doesn't depend on external circumstances or temporary pleasures. You bring them unconditional love, the kind of love that doesn't waver based on performance or perfection. This is something they have never, and I mean absolutely never, experienced with anyone else. Every other connection pales in comparison. Every other relationship feels hollow and superficial when measured against what exists between you and them. And now, having recognized this truth, they are desperate. They are desperate to speak with you, to hear your voice, to be in your presence again. Their heart feels like it might burst from the weight of emotions they can no longer suppress or deny. These feelings have been building, accumulating, intensifying, and now they've reached a point where silence is no longer sustainable. They are already taking concrete steps, making actual plans to find their way back into your life. This isn't wishful thinking or vague intention. This is determined action born from deep knowing. Every single moment they spend in continued silence feels heavier than the last. The regret sits on their chest like a stone. They lie awake at night thinking about how they didn't choose you sooner, how they didn't fight harder for this connection when they had the chance. They replay scenarios in their mind, imagining all the different ways things could have unfolded if only they had been brave enough, wise enough, awakened enough to see what was right in front of them. This regret is powerful, but it's also transformative. It's teaching them lessons they couldn't have learned any other way. Despite whatever pride they once held, despite whatever fears kept them paralyzed, they now realize with crystal clarity that you are irreplaceable. There is no substitute for you. No amount of distraction, no number of other people, nothing in this world can fill the space in their heart that belongs to you alone. This recognition has humbled them in the most profound way. Your person is also exhausted. They are tired in a way that goes beyond physical fatigue. They're tired of waiting, tired of sitting in silence, tired of feeling stuck in a cycle that no longer serves their highest good or aligns with their spiritual truth. They have spent far too much time in solitude, not the healing kind of solitude that brings clarity, but the painful kind that comes from separation from your soulmate. They've been overthinking every word that was spoken, replaying old conversations on an endless loop, analyzing every moment, and wondering with aching hearts what could have been if only they had acted differently, chosen differently, been different. But something has changed. They are done with passivity. They are finished with sitting on the sidelines of their own life. They have had enough of being a spectator to their own destiny. They are now preparing to execute a plan of action because they can no longer bear the idea of remaining in this phase of longing and uncertainty. The pain of staying stuck has finally exceeded the fear of taking action, and that's when real transformation happens. This is no longer about waiting for perfect timing or leaving everything up to fate. This is about conscious choice. This is about taking responsibility for their own happiness and stepping into their power. And they are choosing you. Not out of desperation or lack of options, but out of deep recognition of truth. They are choosing you because you represent everything they've ever wanted, everything they've ever needed, everything their soul has been calling out for. But more importantly, and perhaps even more powerfully, they are choosing themselves. They are choosing to honor their own feelings instead of suppressing them. They are choosing to reclaim their freedom, the freedom to love who they want without apology, to express how they feel without shame, and to build the life they truly desire without being weighed down by guilt or the judgments of others. For such a long time, they were afraid. The fear was paralyzing, keeping them frozen in place even when their hearts screamed for movement. They were afraid of judgment from others, afraid of making the wrong choice, afraid of being vulnerable and having that vulnerability exploited or rejected. These fears were real and powerful, and they held your person captive in a prison of their own making. But now, something miraculous is happening. Those fears are dissolving like mist in the morning sun, being replaced by a deeper, more fundamental truth. They deserve happiness. They deserve love. They deserve fulfillment. And that happiness, that love, that fulfillment exists with you. They know this now with unwavering certainty. Meanwhile, while your person has been on this journey of awakening, you have stepped into a different kind of power entirely. After enduring so much pain, after waiting for what felt like eternities, after navigating oceans of uncertainty, you have finally begun to align with your higher self. This alignment didn't happen overnight. It came through your willingness to do the deep inner work that most people avoid. Your spirit guides have been quietly, gently, persistently nudging you in the right direction, leaving breadcrumbs of wisdom along your path. And now you're seeing the signs more clearly than ever before. The synchronicities are becoming impossible to ignore. The messages are coming through with increasing frequency and clarity. You have done the inner work that transforms a person from the inside out. You've healed parts of yourself that once felt irreparably broken. You've integrated the lessons from your pain instead of becoming bitter. You've chosen growth over resentment, understanding over anger, and love over fear. As a result of this profound inner work, you are standing stronger, more centered, and more peaceful than you have been in a very long time. Perhaps more peaceful than you've ever been in your entire life. This newfound peace that radiates from your being hasn't gone unnoticed. Energy speaks a language that transcends words and physical distance. Your person can feel the shift in your energy even though you may be miles apart. They sense it in the ether, in the quantum field that connects all souls. You are no longer chasing them, no longer anxiously checking your phone hoping for a message, no longer structuring your life around the possibility of their return. They can sense that you've begun to detach in the healthiest way possible, to surrender the outcome, and to focus on your own well-being and spiritual evolution. And this surprises them. In truth, it actually scares them a little. They never expected you to grow so independent, to become so radiant in your solitude, to be so complete within yourself. Throughout the time you were together and even during the separation, they perhaps unconsciously expected you to remain in a state of waiting, pining, hoping. But you've transcended that limited version of yourself. You've evolved beyond the person who needed them to feel whole. This transformation in you has made them realize something that hits them like a lightning bolt: they have taken your love and presence for granted. They didn't value properly what was being offered to them so freely. They didn't recognize the treasure they held in their hands until they let it slip through their fingers. This realization is devastating and enlightening all at once. Now they're praying. Not just casually or occasionally, but with the desperation of someone who finally understands what they're about to lose. They're praying not just for forgiveness, which they know they need, but for another chance to do things right. They're hoping, sometimes with an intensity that borders on desperation, that you're not moving on emotionally. They're terrified of the possibility that you might be entertaining other romantic options. The thought of you finding peace, love, and happiness in someone else's arms fills them with a panic that's almost primal in its intensity. They don't want to lose you. This fear has become their constant companion, following them through their days and haunting their nights. But they want to return to you not just as the person they were before, not as someone carrying the same patterns and limitations. They want to come back as a better, more awakened, more conscious version of themselves. They want to be someone who can finally give you the love, stability, and commitment you've always deserved but never fully received from them. They want to show up as the partner you've been waiting for all along. This period of separation, as painful as it has been for both of you, has served as a mirror. Mirrors can be uncomfortable because they show us truth without filter or mercy. It has shown your person exactly where they were weak, where they faltered, where they allowed fear to guide them instead of love. And simultaneously, it has shown you where you were strong, even when you felt weak. It has revealed your resilience, your capacity for growth, your ability to love yourself even when someone else couldn't love you the way you deserved. While this journey has been painful, filled with tears and lonely nights and moments of questioning everything, it has also been profoundly transformative for both of you. Sometimes the greatest growth comes through the greatest pain. Your person is beginning to understand at a soul level that the connection you share is not ordinary in any sense of the word. It's rare, precious, and profound. It's deep in ways that most people never experience in their entire lives. It's a soul-level bond that was forged before this lifetime and will extend beyond it. And now that they truly understand this, they're ready to fight for it with everything they have. As the cosmic energy continues to shift and align, as the universe conspires to bring truth to light, you should expect movement. Real, tangible, undeniable movement. Your person is no longer content with silence and separation. The days of passive waiting are over. They're coming back to you, but the motivation is different now. They're not returning because they're lonely or because other options didn't work out. They're coming back because they've finally, truly, completely awakened to the truth of this bond. They understand now what you've perhaps known all along, that what you share is sacred, rare, and worth fighting for. And they're hoping with every fiber of their being that when they do make their move, when they reach out and open their heart, that you'll be there. Not necessarily waiting in the way you once were, not dependent on their return for your happiness, but open. Open to the possibility of love. Open to the potential of a renewed connection built on a foundation of mutual growth and spiritual alignment. Open to seeing if the person they've become can finally meet you where you are. I can't help but notice, they think to themselves in their quietest moments, that you've started to release me slowly. And it's becoming more and more obvious with each passing day. There's a certain calmness in your energy now that wasn't there before. A sense of peace and contentment that makes me feel like you're finally starting to enjoy your life without needing me to be part of it. On the surface, when I catch glimpses of you or feel into your energy, you seem to be doing just fine. You're living your life, moving forward with purpose, maybe even healing from the wounds I helped create. But I keep asking myself this haunting question, are you really okay without me? Or are you just putting on an act to protect yourself from being hurt again? I wonder if you still think about me at all, if I cross your mind during your day, if you feel that pull in your heart that I feel in mine. Or have you already learned how to live without needing me, without even wanting me? These thoughts are haunting me day and night, invading my mind at the most unexpected moments. I can't shake this feeling of uncertainty that follows me like a shadow. It's painful in a way I've never experienced before. This isn't like other heartbreaks or disappointments. This cuts deeper because I know I caused it. I feel like I'm spiraling into insecurity because of it, questioning everything I thought I knew about us, about you, about the connection we shared. The truth is, I'm deeply worried. Not just for myself and my own emotional well-being, but for what we had together, what we once were when we were at our best. Your distance feels unfamiliar and disorienting. And though I know rationally that I played a significant part in creating this distance, that my actions or lack thereof pushed you away, it doesn't make it any easier to accept or bear. It feels like you're slipping through my fingers like sand, and I'm watching it happen in agonizing slow motion, feeling completely helpless to stop it. The harder I try to grasp and hold on, the more I feel you pulling away. I wonder constantly if you're truly letting me go, if you've made peace with the idea of a life without me. If this is really it, if the connection we shared, which felt so profound and irreplaceable, is now just a memory you're learning to live without, a chapter you're ready to close. I ask myself every single day, is this how it ends? Not with a grand finale or dramatic confrontation, but with this quiet fading, this gentle but unmistakable drifting apart. The thought is almost unbearable. I've been doing a lot of thinking lately, more than I ever have before. I've been forced to sit with myself and my choices in a way I've avoided for years. And I've come to acknowledge some things I didn't want to face before, truths I kept hidden even from myself. I know, with painful clarity now, that I wasn't emotionally available when you needed me most. I know that I failed to treat you the way you deserve to be treated, with consistency, presence, devotion, and genuine care. That realization stings more than I can possibly explain. It's like a constant ache that reminds me of all the ways I fell short. Looking back with the wisdom that only hindsight and growth can bring, I can see so clearly now how my lack of presence, my inability to show genuine empathy, and my emotional immaturity chipped away at what we had. It happened gradually, almost imperceptibly, like erosion that eventually reshapes the landscape. I took your patience for granted, as if it were an unlimited resource that would always be there no matter how I behaved. I was blind, willfully blind, to the love and effort you poured into our relationship with such consistency and devotion. You were always trying, always hoping for better, always forgiving my shortcomings and giving me another chance. And I never truly appreciated how much strength that took on your part. I never honored the courage it requires to keep loving someone who isn't fully showing up for you. I never acknowledged the grace you extended to me time and time again. Now that you've gone quiet, now that your voice no longer fills my days and your energy no longer orbits mine, it's like a mirror has been held up to my face. And what I see reflected back is uncomfortable but necessary.